Okay, concept 1, graphing relationships. Before we can start graphing relationships, we need to get familiar with the place we're going to be graphing them, which is the coordinate plane. And the coordinate plane is formed by the intersection of two number lines. We know what number lines are. We just did inequalities. The horizontal axis and the vertical axis. Okay, so that's the coordinate plane, the intersection of two number lines, the horizontal axis and the vertical axis. Okay, so the parts of the plane, the x-axis is the horizontal one. So we're going to come over here and label it x. Okay. The y-axis is the vertical axis. And so we're going to label that one y. Okay. Time to change colors. The origin is the point at which the x-axis and the y-axis intersect. We call that 0, 0. So 0, 0, which is this guy right here. This is the origin, right where they intersect. So that's the origin, and we're going to label it 0, 0. Okay. Quadrants are the four regions into which the x and y axis separate the coordinate plane. So you may have noticed that the coordinate plane has four little sections. These are quadrants, and they are labeled like this. So this one here is quadrant 1. So we're going to call that quadrant 1, and we use Roman numerals to describe the quadrants. So quadrant 1, quadrant 2, it goes clockwise from there, or counterclockwise, sorry. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. So those are really the parts of the coordinate plane: the x-axis, the y-axis, the origin, and then the four quadrants. Okay, that's going to help us identify where we're going to put points. All right, so points are ordered pairs, and ordered pairs are a pair of numbers you see that color? Yeah, a pair of numbers used to locate any point on the plane. You could say a pair of numbers, and I could find it anywhere on the plane. Okay, so ordered pairs are used to find points. This x denotes the x coordinate, and the y, you may have guessed, denotes the y coordinate. Okay, every ordered pair has an x coordinate and the y coordinate, and the way that you order them is in alphabetical order. You put the x first and then the y second. Okay, so, and I'll tell you right now how to figure out where on the coordinate plane positive numbers and negative numbers are. Okay, in quadrant 1, so we go along the x-axis this way, these are all the positive numbers. We go along the y-axis this way, these are all positive. So in quadrant 1, we have positive, positive ordered pairs. Both numbers in the ordered pair are positive. Okay? If we go to quadrant 2, the x values now become negative. We have negative numbers, but the y values are still positive. So this quadrant has negative, positive numbers. Put the negative number first and then the positive number second. Okay, if we move down to quadrant 3, we have negative x values and now we have negative y values. So in quadrant 3, our ordered pairs are going to be negative, negative. Okay, and then if we go over to quadrant 4, we now are back to positive x values, but we still have negative y values. So in this quadrant, we have positive, negative numbers. Okay, so whenever we're graphing points and I give you an ordered pair, this will help you figure out where to put them. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to locate and figure out some of these points on the coordinate plane. We have some points here. We need to figure out, well, where exactly are those points? Okay, I'm going to use this color here. Okay, so point A, let's figure out point A. It says identify the ordered pair in quadrant or axis for each point. So point A is right here. So to figure out where exactly A is, we just have to count. We have to go, so we always go X and then Y. Remember, X and then Y. So we're going to go over and then up. So we're going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4. So then up 1, 2, 3. So our ordered pair is 4, 3. Okay. What quadrant is that in? Well, it's in this top, right one, top right, and that's quadrant 1. Okay. Quadrant 1. Okay. Let's find B. B is way down here. So if it's easier for you to see, well, that's quadrant 3, then write quadrant 3 first, which is totally fine. And now we just have to count where these are both going to be negative because we're in quadrant 3. So we're going to go negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 6. And that's where B is. Okay? So here's A, here's B. So A goes together, B goes together. Let's find C. C is over here in quadrant 4. So C is in quadrant 4. And we're going to have positive x values and negative y values. So we're going to go positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So positive 10, negative 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's where C is. Okay. D is not in a quadrant. D is on the y-axis. So D is on the y-axis because if you're on an axis, you're not in a quadrant. You're on an axis. Okay? So a funny thing about the y-axis is this is where x equals 0 because this is 0, 0. So I'm going over 0. I'm not moving at all. 0 up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 0, 7 is where D is. I can tell you right now, I'm going to run out of room, but that's okay. It's all right. E, let's figure out where E is. E is also in quadrant 2. Quadrant 2. Okay. Let's figure out where it is. We're going to have negative, positive. So negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Negative 9, 1, 2, 2. So there's E. And then we're barely going to have room for F. F is on the x-axis. So F is on the x-axis. Okay. And its ordered pair is 0. Or sorry, we're going over first. So negative 1. And we're going up 0. So negative 1, 0 is where F is. Okay. And that's how you write ordered pairs. Okay, so now what we're going to get into is some definition type things. When we're graphing relationships, we can have two types of graphs. We can have either a continuous graph or a discrete graph. And it's really important we know the difference between those two. Okay, so a discrete graph is a graph, obviously, that consists of points that are not connected. are not connected. Okay, so over here there's a little space for you to draw a picture. Basically, all you're going to do is you're just going to put points. They're not connected. Okay, that's what a discrete graph is. It's a graph with points that are not connected. Okay. On the other hand, a continuous graph is a function, we'll talk about functions later, graphed with a line or smooth curve. So these ones have connected. They are all connected. Okay, so here's a continuous graph. Okay, we'll put arrows on them to show that they go off in both directions forever. Okay, so that's the difference between a discrete graph and a continuous graph. In the next video, we're going to do some practice with identifying what kind of graphs we have and see if we can draw some pictures. Okay, and that's it.